Mr. President, first of all, thank you for doing this interview with us.
Thank you very much.
Talk about being in Southern Illinois. Why come to Murfreesboro? Why is this so important?
Well, Mike Bost is a great congressman who's fought very hard for the steel industry. We brought the steel industry back fully. It's incredible. It's the talk of the country in a sense. And I thought I should reward him, actually. And he's got a close race. I can't imagine it being close, actually. Mike Bost, he's the congressman from the area. So I said I'd come up here. Usually I don't do it for a single congressman, but we have the two others who are terrific. So between the three of them, and I think they're going to do fantastically well. They're great people.
And the upcoming midterms, you mentioned that was a big deal. And again, I told you, we're not far from here, over in southeast Missouri. Right. So what about the McCaskill-Hawley race? And I know that's a big one for you too.
I think Josh Hawley is one of the stars of the party. He's young. He is a brilliant guy. He is doing unbelievably well. She's been a terrible senator. She has not represented her people well. She votes against tax cuts. She votes against Justice Kavanaugh, as an example, who is a star, who's great. Yale and top of his class and so many other things. Britt Kavanaugh. She has been so bad to her people and what they represent. So Josh Hawley really is a star, and I think that he is going to go places like few others.
Will we see you in southeast Missouri anytime soon?
I actually am coming back. I believe Josh is leading, and actually maybe even leading by a decent number. But I'll tell you what, I want to give him every chance of winning. That's a race that should be won. She should have lost last time. And frankly, a mistake was made by somebody, and it didn't work out that way, but she got very lucky. We can't let that happen a second time. She has not represented her people well.
Will we see you possibly in Cape Girardeau?
That could be, but we're going to be back in Missouri, I think sometime soon, next week.
Columbia, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Well, talk about, today we had the horrible tragedy that happened in Pennsylvania. Talk about, you mentioned if there would have been an armed guard there, that things might have been different. Do you think that that's unrealistic, or do you think this is a chance for maybe church leadership to start rethinking security?
Well, it's the endless debate about guns or no guns, and the problem is that if you go with the other route, no guns, the bad guys are always going to have guns. So they're going to walk in and we'll be totally defenseless. You have to have them. And literally, if you don't, you take a look at Paris, the nightclub where almost 500 people were killed over a long period of time, just one after another after another. And I always say, if just one person had a gun where the bullets could have flown the other way, you wouldn't have had that tragedy like that. So I understand both sides of the argument, but this madman walked in. I will say this, law enforcement did a fantastic job. A few of them were hurt very badly, but they did a fantastic job. But you have to have protections. Remember this, the bad people, the bad ones, will always have guns. And how do you counteract that? They're always going to have guns.
And Mr. President, I know you have a tight schedule, but just a couple other quick things. Can you address the tariff situation? I know you spoke with some farmers today. We have a lot of farmers here in the heartland. Right. Can you ease any concerns?
Sure. Well, there are no concerns. We just made the deal by using tariffs. We just made one of the great deals ever with Mexico and Canada. The deal is finished. The USMCA. We didn't want to call it NAFTA because NAFTA was a disaster, and for the farmers. Remember this, from the time I was elected, if you go back 15 years before, the farmers have been on a constant decline. Now they're starting to go up. We're making a deal with, we're either going to make a deal or something else is going to happen with the European Union, who have treated our farmers horribly. You look at Japan, everybody treated our farmers badly. Now they're starting to treat them good. We just made the deal, finished the deal with South Korea, which was a horror show, and now it's a great deal. And we're using tariffs for two reasons, to negotiate, and if they don't want to negotiate and make good deals for our farmers and our manufacturers and everybody else, then we'll put the tariffs on. And if they do, we don't have to put the tariffs on. Without tariffs, we would never be able to make the great deals that I'm making.
And opioids, historic legislation this week. Talk about this. That's a big problem around here, Mr. President. Talk about...
It's a tremendous problem in this area, but it's a tremendous problem all over the country. It's a tremendous problem all over the world. Drugs, if you just take it a step larger, drugs. And with opioids, we just got $6 billion, the largest ever, for working on not only solving the problem and getting people better. You have so many people that are so addicted. So we just got $6 billion approved. Opioid prescriptions are down 17%. The doctors are just prescribing stuff, but they're down because now they're being watched and we're going after them if they're abusive. We've done a very good job with respect to that, but I must tell you, it is a tough problem, and it's been a very tough problem for this area. We just got 15, we just got 6, and that 6 is being used so well. One other thing we're doing, tremendous commercials on drugs, opioids, everything, why you shouldn't be doing it, why you shouldn't be taking it, why they shouldn't be prescribed in the case of opioids. And we're really making a big dent. We're making a big dent. And one other thing, we're being very strong on the pushers. The people that sell drugs, we're being really tough. And ultimately that's going to have to be. And probably we'll have to go maybe even a step tougher than we already are, and we are tough.
Well, I could ask you questions all night, but what would you say to our viewers who are watching, the people here in Southern Illinois, Southeast Missouri, Western Kentucky, and parts of Tennessee? That's our viewing area.
Yeah.
What are you doing What are you doing to help us here in America's heartland sleep better at night?
Well, what we're doing is, number one, we're making our country much stronger. The trade deals and all that we've done has been incredible. The other thing is our military. Look at our military. Our military was depleted. It was in trouble. We didn't even have really ammunition of any kind. I mean, if you look at what was going on, we, in a very short period of time, and already, we're going to have the strongest military we've ever had. $716 billion is being put in our military. And if you ask the generals, if you ask anybody, we will never have a military so strong. We're going to have protection. We're guarding up, as you know, we're guarding up the southern border. We're not letting people come in. We're setting records of detention and getting people. This caravan that's coming up is not getting through. It's no way it's getting through. And in fact, I called up the United States military to make sure people are not going to come through in the caravan. They're going to apply, and they have to come through legally, and we want a merit system, not this ridiculous system that we have. Merit, so that all of these companies that are coming into the United States, they need employees, they need workers. We want a merit system. We need the workers. You know, we're down to 3.7, it's the lowest in 50 years, 3.7% unemployment. We want the merit system. So we're doing a lot, and we're hitting on all 12 cylinders.
Okay, and I'm supposed to ask you if you're going to eat barbecue while you're here.
Well, I would. I love barbecue. I'm probably better off not doing it, but that's okay.
Probably no time for that.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Great job.
thank you so much
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
time.